Guys, I am going to go through the notes for our run through tonight as quickly as possible. Um, so hopefully these can all be applied on Saturday to make our final dress run just that much more smooth. So the first thing is house right for Sing We Now of Christmas. So I know that that's like Silas and Alex because you guys asked if you guys could come through the kitchen prep area. Just make sure that you guys communicate with the people coming through the door because you guys like came in and then did like a little switcheroo. So if everyone wants to come in through the kitchen prep, I'm totally fine with that, but everyone like needs to know that that's what we're going to do. Okay, Anna. So we had written down Hannah, but Anna Brooks, you need to move sooner and lead your line on stage for Sing We Now of Christmas. I think you start on Sing We Now of Christmas. Your group is kind of like letting you know that they're ready to go, but you need to be the one that leads that group on. Um um Motown, if we have time, we're going to try and clean you guys on Saturday, but please be looking at the rehearsal videos for that because you guys are still turning different ways. I've never had to say this to Sugar Cookies before, but in rock version of Deck the Halls with the guitars, you guys can be crazier and like really kind of be like head banging and like slamming the guitars. You guys are like so tame, but I want you to be crazy just on that part. No other time. um Celtic, I think just go over that I was thinking that it's always the right foot that leads, but it's not always the right foot that leads. Review the rehearsal video because on those little kick step ball changes, we had some different feet going. And that's just really noticeable when there are so many of you. So just review that and make sure that you know what foot is leading. Kate, you look so great for your solo for Bollywood. Just look up. You have kind of a tendency after your shimmies to kind of look down at the floor, but like smile and look out at your audience because you look great. For the klezmer, which is the evergreen, that's your lights around the Christmas tree, slow down on lifting the chair. If you actually lift that chair off the ground, you like need to lift it up over your head. Okay, so like he sits down, bum, and then you go to lift the chair, and then the music cuts out before you're actually able to pick the chair up off the ground. And everyone can be a little bit more like, oh man, like after that, because you wanted to like do the next part, which is like lifting him up in the chair and dancing around him. Um Hip hoppers, Miss Ella's gonna try and look at that timing with you, but if you can review that I think it's a 6-step thing in some other sections, like the last section of the hip hop version of Deck the Halls, that would be great. Joviana, we talked just making sure that you know which way you're turning for country. Between Deck the Halls and I think Christmas movie medley, Silas, we can see you in the wings. So just like a note to everyone, like if you're in that space between the curtains and you can see out, we can see you. Alex, we're gonna try and get you a cane for Scrooge. That's also a note for our stage managers. Okay, before somewhere in my memory and Evergreen, Jack and Anna, you guys can have like more of an audible response when Alex is giving you the bear and the doll. I want you guys to think that these are like I want you to think of Christmas presents that you've gotten in the past that like you wanted so badly, like so badly, and what your reaction was. Okay, so that's like what the doll and the teddy bear should be. So bigger reactions, and you can actually say like, oh my gosh, like I put this on my list and I can't, but it doesn't have to just be like smiles. Like you can actually verbally respond. Kellyanne, when you come out with the ornaments and you're singing, there's a box in the attic, we take it down each year, go ahead and like pull out an ornament and give it to Alex and he can go put it on the tree, so that we have a little bit more movement. But you're also kind of saying like, in this box are all of our like really special like memories that we think about this time of year every year. So I'd love this to still, I know I like told you guys to like sit in the chairs and the song itself is like the tempo is tricky, but I'd love it to still feel more relaxed and like, okay, I have to sit in my chair. So like, Kellyanne and Alex, like you guys can respond, like you can, pat his hand or I'm not sure if you guys are like that close, but you can respond to your kids. Should feel a little bit more like a Christmas morning kind of vibe. Brenna, for I'll be home with bells on. Are you able to have tan tights instead of the leggings underneath your costume? I know it's a quick change. It's just everyone else is in tan tights and then you had your leggings on. Isabel and Kellyanne, we talked about your change and what we can do to make that go smoother. Let's see. Before snow medley, Alex, because don't worry about the cueing of the snow machine. When you're talking about like, oh my gosh, it's like starting to snow. Basic, like we should be there with all the sounds and all the lighting things, but don't wait on us. Go ahead and just say your lines. And we might change the timing of the snow machine to start because it's actually not going to be the one that's overhead. It's a light, so it doesn't need a second to like churn up, because we may actually like cue it right before Anna says her line about like, oh look, it's snowing. So anyway, just say your lines, don't wait for us. Like we'll hopefully be there or we won't, but that'll just like it feels like someone's dropped a line when you're waiting for us, so just keep it going. Hopefully we'll cover this on Saturday, but I'll be home for Christmas. The cloggers, we're gonna do some sort of silhouette so that you have a way to get off. And I can't remember if we closed the main curtain. If we did, we'll have you guys exit through like the lobby or the private lesson hallway. Anyway, we'll look at that on Saturday. Okay. I have a note, let it snow, same direction, last chorus. I'm not sure what that means. We'll ask Miss Ella. Okay. In snow medley. Amid the falling snow, Olivia and Brenna, you guys need to be entering way earlier. Like I would maybe enter when the person before you starts singing, so you have time to go get your mic and then meet up with that person. This is like a really like tender medley, so it's like really important that you guys get there on time and then you guys are really natural and interact with each other. If you guys don't spend a lot of time with each other outside of like rehearsal and stuff, that's totally fine, but I would like maybe eat lunch together or something on Saturday, just so that there's some like natural camaraderie with each other. And Olivia, make sure that you grab mic 4, not mic 5. Grab mic 4, and that'll also be just a little bit faster of a transition. Let's see. Okay, walking in a winter wonderland. Make sure that you hit your final pose, winter wonderland, boom, and then wait for the music from the next song before you start transitioning off. I can't remember. I know it was like Leah and maybe whoever was kind of around her. You guys hit your pose, and then Walking in a Wonderland was still finishing and you were starting to walk off stage. So make sure you wait till your song ends, because there's a lighting cue and a song cue to take you into the next thing. Okay. Um, okay. I think that was all for the first act. Just kind of like some general like rules. I always think that you guys know this, and I know like if you've done springboard for like 8 years, Brady, like you guys know this, but I forget like what we do and don't know. Like for those that are like new to us or like new to like Deck the Hall specifically. But a couple of rules. If there are numbers that are not specifically staged, where it's just like a bunch of people, like you're just like running on stage and you're dancing together, it's really important if you're going to put yourself in the front, you need to know it better than anyone else, because there's nothing worse than watching someone who's like pushed themselves to the front and then they're watching the person on their right and their left who know it 150%. Okay. So I want you to be in the front. I'm not saying that I don't want you to be in the front, but I'm just saying that make sure if you put yourself in the front that you know it. Okay. Um uh so sorry, my child is crying. Her dad has her, it's fine. Um okay, once house opens, okay, which is 30 minutes before the show, you are not allowed to be outside of the blue or the purple room. Okay. If you need to use the restroom, we really need to try and do that before house opens. You can communicate with a stage manager about that. But we don't want the audience seeing you in your costumes before the show. During intermission, like you also need to stay back in blue and purple. You aren't allowed to go out and just kind of say hey to people. Okay, you wait until after the show, after your bows, to go greet people that came to see you. Okay, but just like theater professionalism, like we don't go out and mingle before the show or during intermission. Do not eat anything, snacks, whatever it is, in costume. I know Miss Brendan was like trying to get you guys away from the cookie table today. You can have water backstage. I would say you could have anything that is not going to stain a costume or spill. So maybe it's goldfish or a granola bar or something like that, but like don't bring sodas and coffee and like hot dogs or like anything from concessions. Do not bring it backstage. There are too many costumes, too many presets. Okay. If something spills on a costume, like we're in a lot of trouble. Okay. um uh and then like because we had this happen last year, elementary, please do not bring toys, please do not bring nail polish. Second act is not the time to paint our nails. Okay, I know it's a little bit longer of an act, but you guys need to be like back and like ready and focusing on your show. Okay, I think that's just kind of like general rules. I'm gonna try and go through act 2 fairly quickly, or as quickly as I can. Okay, you guys did a great job getting your coats on for the end of first act, but you also need your winter items just for Welcome Christmas. Okay, so if you had coats on, earmuffs, scarves, whatever, we need to see those on you for Welcome Christmas. You can take them off for Christmas wrapping, but we need them on for Welcome Christmas. Jack, try not to conduct. You kind of had a little like conducting going on with your right hand, okay? So just keep that hand by your side. Jack and Anna, I would maybe make a little cheat sheet because the second act is so much just the two of you guys, that like, okay, like after Toy Soldier is like Anna has this line or whatever, just like, and you can put it with your preset, but just so you guys know, so that you're not getting on stage and looking at each other and not sure whose line it is. Okay, so like I said, I'd make a little cheat sheet. Guys, in general, unless you're the family, once there's a light cue, like the lights will either like fade or there's a silhouette and applause, you peace out. There were like several times, especially during the second that you guys just like kind of were chilling, and I was like, okay, bye. Okay, so just rule of thumb, like after each number, once there's applause, once the lights change, you peace out quickly and quietly. Bailey, I would just take a look at Christmas wrapping. I know that you've been sick and been out a little bit. But I think it just kind of looked like maybe you were a little confused on some parts of it. So I would just take a look at sugar cookie section of Christmas wrapping. Joviana, make sure you have ballet shoes for Clara. I think the stage managers are going to try and do a ballet shoe check, also a bun check. So if you are in Nutcracker, you were cast in this number because you are actively taking ballet. And so we need hair and buns, we need ballet shoes. So make sure that for Saturday we have all the things that we need to like throw our hair up in a bun, and we have all the shoes that we need. Joel, you and I talked about this, but if we can make sure that you have a white button-down shirt for Fritz, and then black dress shoes, because remember he is like 1822, not 19, or what year is it? Not 2022. Silas, are you able to either do less of them or not travel so far stage right? I think you're doing Padishahs when you have her Nutcracker. You Padishah so far that you're out of the light. If you can kind of keep it, if you keep it in like the stage right wall of the proscenium, you're still in the light. So if you can just kind of cheat that a little bit, we'll be able to like see you completely. Joviana, don't forget your penche, I think at the end of that pas de deux with Drosselmeyer. And then when you get tired and you go to your chair, go ahead and get tired, hand him the Nutcracker, and then go to your chair. It was kind of weird because you were like sitting on your chair, and then you're like, oh, here's this. Okay, so like just make that handoff happen a little bit earlier. Okay, so we need Bryson, you need to be ready to go kind of behind that panel, because what we need to see is it should be kind of magical. Like Drosselmeyer walks, and as soon as he's behind the tree, you start walking. We had a big gap there tonight, and then slow down your choreo. Because you still had probably 16 counts of music that you were just standing there. So slow everything down. Let's see. Alex, we are going to try and get you white gloves for the Rat King. And then are you able to just like double check either tie or clasp your vest? It was kind of flailing because we could see your undershirt once the Rat King died. Let's see. Okay. After the pas de deux with Bryson and Joviana, Waltz of the Flowers, wait until it goes dark to walk on. You guys all walked on in Bryson and Joviana's like pas de deux still. So wait until the light changes to dark to go set up for your number. And I would say just because it's so quick, you don't have to do a curtsy. You can just kind of do a nod and then walk off afterwards. I need to talk to, we need to either find or candy cane your hoop, Jameson, but can you also work on clasping the back of your vest? We're just seeing that kind of like wave as you're dancing. Ella had a note, Bella posture right as you walk out. I'm not sure what your posture was, but just make sure you're walking out as a ballerina. Maybe you were, I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, watch your posture. And then make sure that you don't have a hair tie on your wrist. Okay. Bryson, you have a costume for Toy Medley. So we need to make sure that you get with Miss Emma on Saturday to get your costume for Toy Medley. Family, when you guys are doing the dialogue about the toy store, there's a lot going on, but I missed it. Can you make a bigger deal of like, oh, look, a toy store, and like really point at all of the dolls that are standing there? Let's see. In general, toys, once you are in that silhouette, you cannot move because we see like all of your interactions. I think at one point, like the toy soldiers were talking to each other. And I think maybe like during Toyland or something. And so we see that, and it's actually like it's a sharper image. Like so it's almost like it's amplified. So make sure like once you're set in place that you're not moving. Let's see. And Anna and Jack, during the Toy Soldier medley, you guys have a cross. You have to get to the other side because the toy soldiers in the front have a shh, and they were shushing no one. Okay. So we can talk with Miss Andrea about when that transition is, but I'd watch, like maybe last week's run to see when you run across. Okay, that has to happen. Toy soldiers, if I'd really try and secure that hat. However, if the hat falls off or it feels like it's gonna fall off, let it be. It's more distracting to watch you try and fix it than you just continuing to march, tap, and do your thing and the hat falls off. Oh, Anna and Jack, so don't wait until Toyland to start your dialogue. Right after they finish it, the most wonderful day of the year, you guys need to start walking on and say your dialogue, because otherwise Lucy's going to start singing over you. Let's see. And we'll run this on Saturday, but everyone in Star Ranch, whether you're like, if you're listening, once you see that they've set the mics, the tables, the bench, everything, go ahead and come out to your places. Family, you will hear on Saturday, Matt will have a recording of saying like, welcome to Star Ranch, and then after that you guys will walk on. Let's see. Abilene, I think you're on stage for Star Ranch. Just stand, like you can stand in like second position, like some stance that's like comfortable, because you're standing there for a while. I don't want you to like pass out, but you were like standing with like your legs like really crossed. Like it was really impressive, but you look like Squidward. Is it Squidward from SpongeBob? So just like feet not crossed, feet just right next to each other or like in a second position. Okay, just a couple more, guys. Okay, I have a note. Bella, go to center in All I Want for Christmas Is You. I'm not sure what part that is, but that was a note from Miss Ella. I know she talked to Landon about the partnering with Avery. Emily Bull, we are gonna look somehow you ended up in a completely different costume than everyone in your group, and so Miss Emma is going to look and see if we've got another one in the right size for you so that you match, so that it's not the capris with the little like bow thing on the side of your hip, but it's like the pants with the like crop jacket. Landon, can you have black socks? I know you're coming from another rehearsal, but black socks for All I Want for Christmas Is You. Jameson, you missed the kick line. I'm not sure if you were changing or what, but I'd love you to be in that. And then yeah, then everything else looked pretty good. I will say like overall, your numbers are really good. It's the transitions that we really need to smooth out, and I think you guys could feel that. today. So we're going to make sure that you guys feel nice and comfy with those on Saturday. All right. Thank you for listening to this. I hope everyone is listening to this, and I will see you guys on Saturday at 9. All right. Bye.